Next up at UFC Vegas 88, we have Pannie Kianzad taking on Macy Chiasson. Pannie Kianzad, 16-7 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She is coming off that decision loss to Ketlen Vieira. She's taking on Macy Chiasson, 8-3 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that decision loss to Irene Aldana. And this is a tricky fight for me because I do really like Pannie, and I was going to lean her, and then I looked at her last fight, and then that's where this gets hard because Pannie is a very good pure boxer. She's got good jab, good solid striking. She never throws one single punch at a time. Her footwork is good, and she could outstrike most people in this division. She has an impressive 71% takedown defense, and she's probably going to need it in this fight. She is coming off that decision loss, though, to Ketlen Vieira, where she was taken down almost instantly in all 3 rounds. And while she was tough and did take her beating, she had no ability to get back up. She's taking on Macy Chiasson. Macy is extremely tall, extremely long for this division, and she uses that length really well to jab you up and work in some Muay Thai striking. She's got a positive striking differential and okay power. If you get past her length, you can have success staying in her face, but when she can keep distance, she's very good and technical. She has added wrestling to her game plan recently, and that's an entirely new look. She took down Norma Dumont 6 times in that very impressive win. And most recently, Irene Aldana 3 times in that close loss. But then Irina went on to go ahead and fight for a title. Macy Chiasson is tough, man. It's tough to break her down because I wanted to pick Pannie. I was going to pick Pannie. I was like, underdog money. I love it. Same with Joanne Wood last week. I picked Joanne Wood last week. The difference between Joanne Wood last week and Pannie this week is Joanne Wood had the much, much better striking. I personally didn't even think the striking was going to be close. And all she had to do was defend some takedowns. Where in this fight, I do think Pannie is the better striker, but Macy is so freaking long, it can be tricky. And if you judge a fighter based off of their last fight, which I try not to do, and I've had success many times in similar situations where a fighter is being undervalued because they just got the shit kicked out of them. I'm trying not to do that here with Pannie, but watching her get taken down almost instantly by Ketlen Vieira and having no ability to get back up is hard because Macy has worked in wrestling. She is giant. She's extremely long. Macy is pretty well-rounded, pretty durable. Macy's going to be the pick, but a Pannie plus 3.5 might be the bet. I'm still looking at it. I'm still thinking about it. I also am positive this is going to go to a decision. What do you think, Jakey boy? It's going to be a juice 3.5. It's going to be juiced.
Minus 150. That doesn't seem.
That's not crazy, but yeah,
it seems pretty reasonable to me because I think this is going to be a close fight. I think this is going to be a decision fight. And let me just say too, Pannie is the most Brazilian-looking non-Brazilian I think I've ever seen.
Like Swedish or something, isn't she?
Yeah, every time I see her, I just assume that she's Brazilian. She wears the yellow too, but yeah, she's from Sweden. I think her dad or mom or something is from like the Middle East or something like that. But yeah, she is Swedish, rips the Swedish flag. But every time I see her, I'm like, oh, she's Brazilian. And I have to imagine that during fight week, there's got to be fighters coming up to her that don't know her, just assuming that she's fighting and she's Brazilian, trying to talk to her in Portuguese. I would have to assume. But, yeah, Macy is a very big, long girl. Is she going to make the weight? I don't know. This is 135. She's a big girl that struggled to make the weight before. And if she does make the weight, the reason I bring this up is because you saw in that Aldana fight, Macy has learned to wrestle. She's not a wrestler, but she knows how to wrestle. She can wrestle people that don't know how to wrestle. She started getting boxed up a little bit by Aldana, and credit to her, she went to the wrestling and had success with the wrestling. But in that wrestling against Aldana, she was starting to get a little bit tired. You saw the gas issue. So she cuts all the way down to 135, and she's not a wrestler. And I assume she's going to have a wrestling game plan versus Pannie. And I have to assume that Pannie's going to clean up a little bit of that takedown defense, make people work a little bit more. This fight definitely could turn very, very close, very, very fast, much like that Moroz and Joanne Wood fight that you referenced. So, I think I'm taking. I can't remember who I picked at this point because this is such a close fight. I don't know if Macy's going to make the weight. First of all, we'll see if this fight even happens. But she's got to wrestle. She's got to not get tired when she wrestles. And my pick here is. Well, I picked Macy. I've kind of wish I picked but I think the path to victory is just so obvious, right? The path to victory is there. It should be obvious. And even if it goes to, even if she does get tired and it stays on the feet, Pannie's not like crazy dangerous, right? So she can even still
At
hang
all.
on the feet.
Neither one of them are very dangerous, honestly.
Right, yeah. So even if it starts to get sloppy, you got to assume that Macy's going to at least bank a round or two with the takedowns and the control. But it's from this one, but I do like that over 2.5, I guess, even though it's kind of juiced.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a tricky fight to break down, and that's sort of what I was alluding to here. And if Pannie defended some of those takedowns from Ketlin, let's say she defended 3 and got taken down with 3, like, all right, we should be good here. But that's not what was happening, right? Like, she was getting taken down almost instantly and then was stuck down there. So that is going to be the biggest issue there. And while she is the better pure boxer, she's got to get past that reach. And then when she does get past the reach, well, now she's in trouble to be taken down. So I may explore that plus 3.5 bet. All we need her to do is win a single round if that's the case. I also don't like her at $7,200 because there will be no grappling on her side and no finish. So it's just a striking match. And she's going to have to land a ton of strikes to be worth that money. Macy Chiasson at $9,000. I don't love that either. I'll go see what Ketlin put up in that win, because if Ketlin put up a good amount of points just with takedowns and control, then maybe Macy would be worth it. But I'm probably going to fade this fight in DraftKings. What do you think, Jakey boy?
No, thanks.
WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top, and you'll unlock a full slate of DraftKings tools, insight, the optimizer, the ownership projections, and so much more. Only $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. Before you go, let me give you $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets and signs up with any one of our affiliate partners gets $50 as a thank you. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you.